So good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're going to learn about when and where Crystal Cruises is restarting luxury voyages. I'm Beverly McLean, Covington's marketing director and travel blogger. And tonight I'm wearing my moderator hat. We'll have a small group here, so I'd like to keep it informal. I'm going to leave your microphones unmuted, or if you choose to mute them, if you have something, dogs or whatever going on in the background, mute them, but you'll be in control. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them as they come to mind. If you don't have a microphone, you're welcome to type them into the chat box, and I'll keep an eye on that and introduce them as they go along. We'll also have some time for some questions at the end, so don't be shy. Tonight, I am just so pleased to introduce Kathy Liu. She is the Strategic Business Development Manager with Crystal Cruises, and she's originally from Los Angeles. She joined Crystal in 2008, and as the company grew, she moved with it, first from LA to Miami, and now she lives in Atlanta. So if you're doing the math, that's 13 years and about 3,400 miles. She keeps our Covington vacation advisors up to date on everything going on with Crystal. She makes sure that we get the first notice of all the promotional offers and updated safety protocols and all the things that we need to know to make sure that you have the best trip possible. Kathy has traveled a great deal on Crystal, as you might expect, and really, who wouldn't? And she's hoping to check off a bucket list trip to Iceland in August. Oh, wow, that sounds fantastic. Tonight, Kathy is going to show us exactly what luxury cruising with Crystal means. So welcome, Kathy. Thank you for joining us. We're so excited to have you. I'm going to give you a presentation control, and you can take it away. Oh, shoot, I forgot to show you Kathy's face.
Oh,
I'm so bad at this. There she is. Ta-da!
I don't think we need two of me in the photo in the screen, but it's okay.
All right, I'm going to take my video off the screen so you can have the full floor, and please take it away.
Thank you, Beverly, and thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. I'm going to share my screen, and we can talk about Crystal. Here we are. Sharing content. Here we go. Let me know if you can see it.
Yes, I see it now.
Yes, fantastic. So tonight I'm going to be talking the world of Crystal. You know, Crystal started we just celebrated our 30th anniversary. Originally from Los Angeles, like Beverly mentioned earlier. Crystal started in Los Angeles as well, and then eventually moved to the cruise capital of the world, which is Miami. At one point, we even had offices in Los Angeles, in Miami. We have an office in Amsterdam. We had an office in Australia, but because of COVID, things started to get pared down. So now we realistically have an office in Miami and in Amsterdam for our river cruising, which I will speak to in a moment. But nevertheless, I'm here to talk about everything that's Crystal related, and I just want to share with you, as the slide advances, when 30 years ago, we were only a 2-ship operation. We were just Crystal Cruises. And about 5.5 years ago, we were acquired by another parent company. And from that point, we grew to river cruising, to yacht cruising. We have a brand new expedition ship out. We will have, we have air cruises, which is our 777, very luxurious, and our luxury air. And if you see in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see the sister planes. One's a 777, one is a jet, a Bombardier jet that holds 12 guests, and the 777 holds, get this, 88 guests. On a normal commercial flight, you're sitting with 300 plus guests or passengers. In this case, you have ample rooms, no bullhead containers. I mean, it's just very luxurious, but nevertheless, this is only available for charters. So we're going to just move on from there. Okay, we're just going to talk about our ocean or water-going vessels. Crystal is known. This is our DNA, our pillars. It's the service, space, quality, choices, and destinations. This is what makes Crystal Crystal. And because of these 5 pillars, we have won Condé Nast Reader's Choice Award for 26 years. Now, remember, We just started 30 years ago, and we've been winning this award for 26 years over and over and over again. So it's really easy to win number one when you're the bright, shiny object, but it's really hard to maintain number one. And you know, pre-COVID, we were doing that very well, and now it's a whole new ball game. So let's see what's going to happen. But we have a traveler that just came back, and she can speak to that, and hopefully we'll win Condé Nast again. Okay. So with the water-going vessels, we have 4 ways to sail, and I am going to touch on those very briefly. First, we're going to talk about our ocean cruising. So here's a quick video to show you. Okay.
It's 82 in here.
Well, it's really cool and doesn't knock the day.
So that video is our reimagination video, and why we called it that is because every other year one ship goes into what we call a dry dock, and a lot of times we're either refreshing the upholstery, carpet, or maintenance, or whatever the case is. And typically it's only a 2-week process, and it can range $25 million. When we did the reimaginations for both ships, and that's why at the very end you saw one was done in 2017, another one in 18. Excuse me, that was a month-long renovation. A lot of guests were complaining that we didn't have enough big penthouse suites, so we listened and we modernized our rooms. We've taken a couple of those veranda staterooms, converted them into penthouses, and because of that, Crystal Symphony, what you're looking at here, before her reimagination, she was holding about 960 guests. Today, she holds 800. So that means the ship size maintained the ship size, but there are fewer guests, which means there's more space for you. A lot of other cruise lines have literally sawed ships in half, stretched it to put more people on. We are literally taking people off, so that gives you more elbow room to get to the buffets and such. So that is Symphony, and this is Serenity, same thing. Here we are. She was prior to her reimagination, she was holding close to 1,100 guests, and now 900. So again, ample space. And mind you, the crew count did not change. It's just the guest count. So you'll see here, guest to staff ratio is 1.5 guests to 1 crew member. So imagine the service there. Okay. So on Crystal, we are all inclusive. Here on our ocean, we have open bars and lounges, Michelin-inspired cuisine, specialty dining. Prego, which is a northern Italian restaurant, fantastic food, as well as Umi Uma, which is by Chef Nobu Matsuhisa. If you know Nobu, you know going to one of his restaurants is mighty expensive, but in this case, it is complimentary here. And then, of course, enrichment programs, nightly entertainment, we have unlimited Wi-Fi and prepaid gratuities included. You're probably wondering, where's the shore excursion? Well, that is where our partnership with Covington comes into play, because when you book with them, there are virtuoso amenities, and typically it's a shipboard credit. So you can use that towards shopping, towards a a shore excursion, towards anything you want. And again, this plays back to our choices, DNA or pillar, if you will. Okay. Between both ships, we have up to 11 dining venues. So at night, you're not just subjected to the main dining room. You have Brazilian barbecue, that's a churrascaria. You have Silk Kitchen and Bar, that's Asian fusion restaurant dining al fresco. We have Waterside, which is your traditional cruise restaurant. Within Waterside, we have your traditional menu, plus we have a very modern take. So you can pick and choose from each menu. You're not only subjected to one. We have Umi Uma, which is a sushi restaurant, Prego, which is our Italian. And I want to mention our 24-hour room service, because a lot of folks are probably thinking, oh my God, that's probably just a cold sandwich and cold soup. Well, not the case. There is a 24-hour menu that you can order anytime, but at night during dinner time, I've done this before. I always cruise, and when I do, I take my parents. And on a long cruise, I can only take so much of my parents. So sometimes I will say, you guys go ahead and enjoy dinner. I'm going to have a night in by myself. I would call the restaurant. They will send up a menu from the Waterside, and you can have your dinner in your room there as well. So realistically, you can do anything you want on board, which is great. Okay. And as you can tell, I love food. So that's why I can talk so passionately about it. Then, of course, we have highest rated enrichment programs in all of ocean cruising. We have multiple bars and lounges with nightly entertainment. We have casinos, feng shui spas and relaxation. And of course, our Creative Learning Institute. We have magic shows and all sorts of stuff on board. So you're not bored at all. On our ocean ships, we have a couple voyages departing. Already in cruising, we're back in the waters already. So this is our luxury Bahamas escape. So you can choose from either embarking from Nassau, or you can embark from Bimini, and you do those round trips. Those are 7 nights round trip. And what's great about it is that for an all-inclusive price, starting fares are $19.99 per person. So imagine all the things you're getting with that price point. You can really just go and just have a stellar time there. And on top of that, we are offering $125 per person shipboard credit. Again, the shipboard credit for you to go and swim with pigs or do whatever you want on board. Go shopping, try some, I don't know, exclusive bottle of wine. I mean, we do have wines included and they're fantastic, but there are certain wines that are on our connoisseur menu. So there's that. But nevertheless, if you book by July 31, there are savings up to $150 per person. So you knock that out of the $19.99, and yeah, just book with Covington, and that's your special. Also with Symphony, or Crystal Symphony, we're going to Bermuda. This itinerary just launched, I want to say two days ago, and she will be first departing out of Boston. It's a Boston round trip to Bermuda, and then about 5 turns. We are then changing positions, and we're going out of New York. So again, it's very easy flights to get in and out of the area. You'll have some sea days, so you can enjoy the ship there, which I love, and then go explore the city or the island of Bermuda and enjoy your time out there. Okay. Same as before, very similar slides here, $19.99 per guest. With $125 shipboard credit. And of course, if you book with Covington before July 31st, you can save up to $150 per person here, okay? So that is my quick little highlight of our ocean cruising. I don't know if anyone has any questions. If not, I'm gonna move on to our yacht cruising.
And remember, if you don't have a microphone, just type into the chat box and I will relay those questions to Kathy. We can also take these at the end. So Kathy,
Yes,
let's go ahead and we'll talk about what river is up next.
Yachting is up next.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are. So I'm going to advance the slide, and Crystal Yacht Cruises. Let's take a here's the next one. So believe it or not, here's a little story behind this. This yacht is one of 2 yachts that was our chairman's private yacht. And he said, you know what, guys, go ahead and take it, throw some money and redo the inside and do something with it. So we did. Oh my gosh, guys, it is incredible. I know the outside does not look like a yacht, but inside is completely redone from beam to beam. It's incredible. And what's fantastic, take a look at the guest count. 62 guests to 90 crew members. I don't think there's any other cruise line out there that has more staff than there are guest capacity.
That's almost like a really extended family, isn't it? 62 people, we could fill that pretty easily.
And believe it or not, she sells out really, really quickly. Not only does she sell it really quickly, but a lot of families take it for reunions. The matriarch, the patriarch, celebrating their 80th birthday or whatever it is. And this is a fantastic vessel to take, and she's so much fun. And let me get into that real quick here. So her all-inclusive is very similar to our ocean, and you're going to hear words over and over again, and I apologize in advance. Open bars and lounges, Michelin-inspired cuisine. We offer select shore excursions, complimentary as well. Water toys are included. I have a little asterisk there because there's one water toy that we do charge for. But before I get to that, we offer kayaks, jet skis, snorkeling gear, paddle boards. Those are all complimentary. The only one that requires additional fees is our submersible. That's right. We cruise underwater as well. So imagine you're in the Seychelles and crystal clear blue water. You get to go in and dive. I mean, it's incredible. If you're not a diver, if you're not in the Navy, what are the chances that you're going to be in a submersible underwater? So here's your chance here, okay? This vessel is all suites. So it's all suite, all butler service. So that's included. Embark, debark transfers are included, unlimited Wi-Fi, and of course, prepaid gratuities. So in reality, there's not much you can spend your shipboard credit on here, but nevertheless, booking with Covington, you'll get there, okay? On this small but mighty vessel, there are 5 dining options. You have the Yacht Club, which is the main dining room, the Patio Cafe, which is where most folks go for breakfast. We have the pantry, this little 24-hour little cove. A lot of a lot of shore excursions are dispatched by the reception lounge, and right next to it is the cove. So in the morning, so there's muffins and bagels and all that stuff. And during lunchtime, there's salads and things for you to grab and go. Is really what it is. Sunset Grill, fantastic. Okay, you look at me. I am not a salad eater, but the best Caesar salad I've ever had is at the Sunset Grill here. So you definitely must try. And of course, our 24-hour in-suite dining. Okay. So I have a quick video to show you on Crystal Spree. And remember, the inside has been completely redone, and I think the video will prove that I'm not lying.
Can we go somewhere new, some special place I've never been? I'd like to do something crazy. We should try to run away. It's been so long since I've been myself. I tend to forget so fast how to live excitingly. Let's run away, very far away. Let's stop the time and enjoy this life. Let's run away, very far away. Let's stop the time and enjoy this life. Ooh, ooh, ooh. enjoy this life.
All right. So what do we think so far on the yacht?
I'm ready to go. There's no doubt. That looks fabulous.
It is exhilarating. It's so fun. It's completely different from ocean cruising, so it's definitely worth a shot if you ever have an opportunity to go. I highly encourage it. It's just a beautiful experience.
And what are some of your destinations that you do the
Oh,
yacht?
great question. So if I'm going to take a look at a calendar year, Q1 to about first part of Q2, she is typically in the Seychelles, doing 7 night trips around Mahi, or from and to Mahi, which is great because you get there, you can fly through Dubai, you can do a pre or post there. It's 3-hour flight to Africa, so you can Madagascar, so you can do a safari if you want. So it's a great trip to pair up and do something there. Now after that, she then moves her way over to the Adriatic. She does Venice to Dubrovnik, Dubrovnik to Athens, and she does a couple trips like that. What's fantastic is that if you do a back-to-back, so each trip is 7 nights, but if you do a back-to-back, you're not repeating ports. So you can really do a true 14-night cruise and experience just a different itinerary. So it's great. So that's
I
what we
bet
do.
Croatia is spectacular. That's got to be wonderful.
Yeah. And then I believe in 2022 we're going to Turkey. That's going to be incredible. We haven't been to Turkey in a very long time, and definitely not with a yacht. And there's a huge yachting area there, and it's supposed to be incredible. But after the Adriatic, she goes to the Middle East, and imagine celebrating New Year's in Dubai. And I know a lot of folks have go up to that really tall building.
The Burj Khalifa.
Yeah, aren't you? I think you're paying like $500 just to cheers, and then you're ushered out. I mean, you can just do that on the ship, not have to pay $500, right? So it's just an incredible experience on the yacht. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on and talk about our expedition cruise. That's okay. So here we go. Crystal Expedition. We have a brand new ship out. She actually debuts this Saturday. It's incredible. Brand new, built from scratch, built in Germany, and guest capacity is 200 max. I have 200 and 199, and I'll explain the 199 later. But take a look. Onboard staff is 206. So again, we have more crew than there are guest capacity. Now the 199, we limit our guest capacity when we're heading to the Antarctic, and there's a reason for that. When you're going to the Antarctic, there are different tiers, and 199 allows you to the top tier, which means you get the best landing sites. So you're there and you get to see the great, icebergs and Shackleton's Hut and all that great stuff. So you're not fighting with other big ships. Big ships that go there, they're at a lower quality landing site, so you don't get to see much, or you're seeing what everyone else sees. In this case, you're seeing primo wildlife in that case, right?
I didn't realize that. I didn't know there was a passenger capacity for different landing sites.
Yeah, but it just goes to show the difference with Crystal. I mean, we could charge for that one more person. That could be, I don't know, let's just say $10,000 more. But no, why sacrifice your experience for money, right? We want you to. This is an experiential trip, so we want you to have the best out there, and that's why we limit that to 199. All right, so you could probably repeat this after me. It's open bars and lounges, Michelin-inspired cuisine. We'll have Prego and Umiuma on board. Select shore excursions are included. Water toys are also included. Butler service, unlimited Wi-Fi, prepaid gratuities. Best thing about this vessel, it's a mixture of our yacht and our ocean cruising put together. I mean, it's like a mini version of an ocean ship, but she gets to cruise to these completely, like, just these unique destinations. And I'm just really excited. I hope I get confirmed to go in a couple weeks, and maybe then I'll come back and I'll report back to you on how great that experience was. But nevertheless, we have 8 unique dining venues. Very similar. We're kind of repeating the titles just so that there's a consistency across our platforms. But bistro, marketplace, waterside, prego, umi uma. I mean, all of this you've heard before. Okay. So as I mentioned, Crystal Endeavor will be launching on July 17th, which is this Saturday, and she's going to the Arctic. Her first 10 voyages is a round trip Reykjavik going clockwise from Reykjavik, and I am not going to even attempt to. I'm not going to even attempt to say some of these, pronounce some of these.
I would be very impressed if you could do that, if you could read that map for us.
I was working on a presentation and I was trying to learn it, and that was 3 weeks ago, and my memory is like a fish, so I forgot it all. So I'm not going to even attempt. But nevertheless, just imagine all the puffins you see, the waterfalls, the volcanoes, puffins, wildlife, whale watching, all of that there. It's concentrated, and I'm just stoked. I'm so excited.
When you go to Iceland, which we're getting a lot of interest in Iceland, people are just wanting to go to Iceland, as they have been for the last couple of years, but especially now that the pandemic has loosened up a little bit. But when you go by land, you don't get to circumvent the whole island. You don't get to see the things in the north and the south. You have to kind of choose, because it's a really rugged island, and you can't, there's no roads to go across.
Yeah.
So this is a fabulous way to see everything that Iceland has to offer, all the different magnificent scenery.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out, because you're right. It is very rugged, and you can rent a car, but imagine all that drive time just to get to your next destination. Just do it on a cruise. Do it on our ship. Why not? Because you go and explore, come back on board, sleep, wake up, you're there again. One of my favorite things about cruising is, if you haven't been to a destination, it's a great sampler. For me, that's how I equate it. You can go and check things out. If you love it and you're intrigued, go back and then immerse yourself there. I thought I would love Brazil, and I do. However, there are certain parts I'm like, oh, I thought I would have loved Rio more than Sao Paulo. Who would have thunk, right? And I would not have known this had I not experienced it on a trip, on a cruise trip. So that's my little tip for you. Nevertheless, so we do 10 night trips around Reykjavik, and then on the 11th trip, we are going from Reykjavik to Tromsø, Norway. So again, with the fjords and the waterfalls and just the nature behind it, it's just going to be absolutely incredible. I mean, these are just 2 itineraries, and she's just going to continue on throughout the year. And we already have itineraries out for 2024. Well, part of 2024 for her. So you can book as far in advance if you like. Nevertheless, some exclusive offers. Trips on our Crystal Endeavor on this Iceland trip starts at $9.99 per person. On the Iceland and Norway one, it is $13.99 per person. Of course, if you book with Covington Travel before July 31st, you get up to $350 per person off. But nevertheless, you get $300 as you wish shipboard credit. Again, you have your shore excursions included and all of that. How are you going to spend your money? Well, we have a spa in case you want to get your hair done for the puffins. Here's a quick video on our Crystal Endeavor. Here we go.
From the world's most awarded luxury cruise line comes the world's largest and most spacious luxury expedition yacht, Crystal Endeavor. Built to PC-6 Polar Class specifications, with a sleek design and anchor-free dynamic positioning technology to explore the farthest reaches of Earth. From the Arctic to the Antarctic, and faraway lands in between. With the largest butler service veranda suites each a private sanctuary with room to roam and lavish comforts that welcome you after days spent exploring. Elegant settings featuring Crystal's acclaimed cuisine and welcoming hospitality. An expansive spa and generous social spaces not found on any other expedition ship. Perfect venues for sharing stories of adventure with your friends on board. Led by a team of expedition experts, Crystal Endeavor's guests will experience immersive adventures, wilderness landings, and extreme discovery. Come explore lands that few have ever seen on intrepid, all-inclusive journeys that defy imagination. Come discover Crystal Yacht Expedition Cruises, where luxury roams freely.
So I do have a quick little update on her, and the video was done so long ago that the little submersible, or the big submersible, the submersible that you saw in the video, it's going to be a larger one. It's going to be able to hold 6 guests and a pilot, so it's going to be incredible. But yeah, I mean, imagine going to Australia and you know, seeing the Great Barrier Reef in that submersible, because you know, if you're not a diver, you're not going to be able to see it. So this is one other opportunity for you to just kind of excite your inquisitiveness so that you can just go see certain parts of the world that you haven't yet. Okay. Any questions before I move on to river cruising? No? All right. So Crystal River cruising. Before I start on this, I do want to preface that we have 2 different types of vessels. This first one is Crystal Mozart. If you take a look, I know it's kind of hard to see her, but if you see her, she's actually twice as wide as normal, your quintessential river ships in Europe. And her width is 75 feet wide at 395 in length. She was our first ship. She's beautiful. To me, she is the heart of our river line. And I really love this vessel. And here's a quick video to show you what she's like on the inside. I guess it stopped. Okay, no big deal. We're going to move on from there because I know time is cutting short. But that was Crystal Mozart. Now we have 4 brand new ships that we built. That's Crystal Bach, Crystal Debussy, Crystal Mahler, and Crystal Ravel. Now take a look at the width there. About half the size of Crystal Mozart, but guest count 168 crew members. On most other cruise lines, you're going to have 130 all the way up to 190 on the same size vessel. And this is where Crystal comes back on our DNA of providing guests with ample space. And I have a quick video to show you on these 4 vessels. They're sister ships. They're all identical. So one video will suffice. And don't worry, I won't show multiple after this. So isn't that exciting? I love cruising on our river ships. I never thought I would be a river cruiser coming from an ocean ship. Holy cow. I went on for work, and immediately, as soon as I got back, I booked myself and my parents to go that same year. It was just incredible. But here's our all-inclusive. It's open bars and lounges. Go figure. Michelin-inspired cuisine, enrichment programs on board. I mean, a lot of times, most river ships are quite, I mean, from what I've heard, a lot of guests have complained that other lines, it's dead at night. On Crystal, we have nightly entertainment. We have select shore excursions provided, pre and post airport transfers, butler service, unlimited Wi-Fi, and prepaid gratuities. On these ships, we have up to 5 dining venues, which is incredible. The food is farm to table. You'll often see the executive chef out buying groceries and fresh produce and bringing it back on board. Nothing is frozen except for the ice and the ice cream. But
Kathy, I was gonna say, the pictures of the food and the dining in the beginning of that are going to make me feel very inadequate when I go to the kitchen to cook dinner. That was incredible.
We can solve that, Beverly, by getting you on board.
That would work. Now, the other thing is those windows were awesome. I love the way that drops
Isn't
down
it
because
cool?
it's not a balcony, but your whole wall is a balcony.
Yeah, and let me explain that for a second, because a lot of times folks say, I want a balcony, but when you're in port, you're either away off the ship, or we're tied up, another ship butts right up against it. You can high-five each other. And how often are you using your balcony when you're tied up? So we said, you know what, we're going to maximize the suites, which makes us, on average, we have one of the largest suites there in the European rivers. And it's great because then you can close the blinds when you're tied up. I mean, sometimes I get kind of petty and I'll leave the blinds open so they can see what they're missing out on, but that's just me. But it's incredible. And you're right, you push a button, the window comes down halfway and a ledge pops over so you can put your arm on it. If it's windy or whatever the case is, there's another button and a screen comes up, and then you have fresh air. It's incredible. And so, yeah, a lot of this was designed specific for our needs. And we knew that a lot of guests will say they want a balcony, they want outside the fresh air. But how do we do this? So we figured it out by doing that window, and it's really, really cool. Yeah. So I'm going to go quickly over some quick updates. On Crystal, we are requiring vaccinated our guests to be fully vaccinated. Just a quick little update here. I mean, guests 12 and up must be fully vaccinated. We are allowing kids on certain vessels as long as they test negative, but on a Crystal cruise, having children on board is not really a thing, so there's not much to worry about. But pre-boarding, we are requiring guests take an antigen test, and we will provide that. And then, of course, there's a debark test as well. But nevertheless, if you have any questions, go on our website, and we have a whole list of things that we have in place, so that if you have questions about how are you guys cleaning, what are masks required, all that stuff, that's all online, and it changes quite frequently because as we keep moving forward in this tail end of the pandemic, we're going to keep evolving these policies so that we're going to try and get back to regular cruising as much as we can. So again, enhanced cleaning protocols, social distancing, just a lot of policies on board. So that's really a recap of, or a high level explanation of Crystal. And I have one more quick video to show you guys, just to put a big bow over everything. And here we go. Oh, sorry. Is it gonna play? Here we are.
Luxury knows. The world revolves around you. Be it the reunion you've longed for, sea gazing on the beaches of Mumbai, watching moonlight dance upon a river, a strawberries and cream anniversary, celebrated deep beneath the waves, or love that begins on board and then lives forever ashore. True luxury knows every shade of you, every experience that brings you joy. Painting the town red, or painting the village schoolhouse, flirting with a volcano, or staring in wide-eyed wonder at majestic islands. Luxury knows, anticipates, senses. It defines you and what you want, whether it's truffle sauce, Béarnaise sauce, or tomato sauce, Chardonnay, Shirley Temples, or dining in private under starry skies, precisely as you wish. True luxury knows the moments you will share on your voyage, an eloquent silence that simply sings of extraordinary lives, both loved and lived. Crystal knows, even before you know. Inspired by you. Crystal, where luxury is personal.
So that's us.
I'm in.
Yes. Anyone else? Anyone else? Yeah, we're on social media. So if you have any questions, you want to see what's going on board or whatever it is, just follow us. And we have a lot of videos on YouTube as well. I mean, more than what I've shown you today. But that is basically my presentation for you tonight.
Does anybody have questions? If not, I would like to introduce Rona. Rona is one of our advisors, and she just came off of a Crystal cruise. Rona, did you do the Bahamas and Bimini one?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so tell us your impressions. What was the big takeaway?
Oh my goodness, there were so many takeaways. I've been on Crystal before. I was actually on the Symphony through the Panama Canal many years ago. And so I had an idea what to expect, but it's been so long and, it's COVID, and I just really kind of lowered my expectations, and they were just over the top. And I think what I took away, Beverly, is I still, to this day, 30 years later, say their service is unparalleled to any other ship. I mean, I don't know what they do, whether they show the staff our pictures the first day with our names and then they all know our names. But, how nice is it to be referred to by your name wherever you go? Not everybody, but most. So the service is absolutely amazing. I felt so safe on that ship. And we did have to give up going to Bimini because there was a couple cases of COVID. And people, you hear the chat and everything. And me and my husband are going, are you kidding? That's an example of how they don't sacrifice, our health and our safety.
So the cases of COVID were on the island,
Yeah,
not on the ship.
The island.
Yeah.
I see.
So he kind of, we left, we never went to Bimini, and we just were out to shore for 2 days, which is, I knew that was going to be the case anyway. But we were going to some of the islands, and even at the last minute, some of the islands were changed, but it did not bother me one iota because, of course, I knew that we were going to get away and to be pampered, and I didn't have to cook or clean or, the only thing I regret was that I forgot to use room service. And the last night, someone invited us to their cabin and they had like lobster and shrimp and champagne. And I'm going, you mean you just got this through room service, and I could have been eating lobster every day.
You could.
But,
And people, I would like to point out that Rona, and forgive me, Rona, maybe I shouldn't share this, but Rona is terribly susceptible to motion discomfort, and she cruised anyway. That's how much she likes Crystal. I thought that was really fascinating. I did not know this about her until just before she went. And so did you have any problems with that, Rona?
You know what I tell people? Honestly, when I went through the Panama Canal, it was so flat, and I put a thing behind my ear, and I missed the cruise because I was sleeping all the time. But my husband had a ball. But the waters were calm. It was just that because they had to tender you to the port, you know, at times it would be a little tipsy. And I just didn't want to take a chance that I would get sick. So, you know, I figured, okay, I'll just go on YouTube and look at the Blue Hole, because I just didn't want to ruin my trip, and it just wasn't worth it. So, you know, there's so much to do on board. I mean, you know, I went to the fitness, believe it or not, to the fitness room a lot. But I have to say the entertainment, because I've been on other lines, and there are a couple that are below Crystal who do these spectacular, like Broadway shows. Well, when they brought on Billy Joel's Moving Up from New York, I thought that this was amazing. I mean, everybody was like cheering them, and, you know, they just couldn't believe that Crystal had this Broadway production on their ship. But not only that, there was entertainment in every part of the ship. They had a violinist from Russia, a young girl who had like an electric violin.
I think her name was Tatiana. Yeah,
Oh
she's
my
fantastic.
God, she was
Yeah.
amazing. And my husband and I never really sit around just listening to someone play the violin, but that was something we looked forward to every night. And the Crystal orchestra is amazing. I mean, I keep exaggerating, but honestly, I just, their orchestra, their dancers, the entertainment was phenomenal. And so my expectations were way, you know, over the top. They had a couple of comedians. One was better than the other. They had a magician. And I don't know, people were giving their comments about the magician. And I said, you know, everyone has something to say about something. You can't please everybody. But I just felt, and I talk a lot to people, and there was someone at the beginning who was a little sour when she got on, because she didn't know we had to go to the convention center and get our nose swabbed, because she did her own hotel. So there's something to say about doing everything through Crystal, because it's smooth sailing, and not to have a pun there, but so she was really upset, and she goes, the other cruise line I go on, this wouldn't have happened. And I said, well, did you read your documents? I'm so nosy. But at the end, I was determined to find that lady. And coincidentally, she walks into my elevator the last day. And I said, so how did Crystal meet your expectations compared to your other ship? She goes, oh my God. That's the first thing she said. The service was amazing. And a little while ago, I just talked to a woman that wanted to go on Crystal, but couldn't find the right itinerary. So I had to put her on a different one. And she asked me about my cruise. And she said, I've been on them all. And I know Crystal their service is just unparalleled. And I said, well, I'll find you a cruise with them. So I took pictures, as you saw, because she wants to do an expedition. And she said to me, I don't want to go with Lindblad or National Geographic, because their ships are so awful, or Hurt Again, or So I am going to send her my pictures and say, do I have a cruise for you?
That is so exciting.
Anyway, so, if you have any questions, just ask. But we did not get one single case of COVID. And I just read today, another ship did. I'm trying to think. I read it in our cruise news.
We're not going to name any names, but
No.
there is a ship around Iceland right now with the COVID case on board.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I remember who it is. Yep. Anyway. And that's what I had to say, because they installed sprays, for you to put your hands everywhere on the ship. Every time you went into a restaurant, not only did they have the honor system, but they had someone standing there. And if you didn't spray your hands, he'd go, "Excuse me, ma'am, could you please spray your hands?" So they took it very seriously. And all the staff had to wear masks. And we did not have to. But I was talking to one of the tour directors, and he said that they weren't even allowing the staff to go off the ship at the ports because they didn't want to risk any of them coming back and bringing it to the passengers. But what they said was, at some point, we will take everybody somewhere and reward them for good behavior.
Oh, that's interesting. Yes.
That's great.
Yeah. And one more thing about what they did when I booked this, they were honest with me. They said they didn't have all the staff completely, what is it called? Vaccinated. However, they were hopeful that they would be. And you know what? They were all vaccinated because Crystal made sure they were. So, yeah.
Well, I think all the cruise lines, Crystal included, of course, the cruise industry has gotten a bad rap through this whole pandemic. You're probably safer on a cruise line than you are anywhere else because of all the cruises have gone over and above what's necessary, over and above what they're doing in hotels,
right,
airplanes. I mean, they're meeting those same levels of sanitation and then doing more. So I personally feel very comfortable going on a cruise. You obviously do too.
I'm ready to go again.
I would say to our guest, if you have any concerns, to talk it out with your advisor and, really understand what the safety protocols are on the ship that you're looking at. And, if you're not comfortable, then wait. But if you are, I feel like when you are comfortable, you can feel comfortable. You can go ahead and go. So, all right. Does anybody have any other questions, specific questions for Rona or for Kathy? Y'all are a quiet crew today. I don't see any chat. Several people have their microphones muted. I'm not going to unmute you. You can do that if you want to. Well, thank you all so much for coming and joining us today. Kathy, thank you very much for giving us all the good information and those great videos. I love those. I was bebopping a little bit to Mozart. And Rona, thank you for sharing your experience just recently with Crystal.
My pleasure.
So we hope to hear from our guests as clients, and if we can help you in any way, please get in touch with us. I think, yes, our screen should show all of our contact information. Mm-hmm. So we're looking forward to seeing you soon, and y'all have a great weekend.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Good night.